Hey, UNLV people, it's Kenny Mayne out here in Connecticut. Hope you're staying safe. Hope your family's well. Hope everybody's doing as well as can be during these times. I am a former UNLV Rebel from many, many years ago. We're celebrating the student athlete experience with all of you who have already done so, and hopefully we can all work together to make it even better for the next generation, the kids who are there right now and the ones who are coming in, and we do the right things to recruit the good ones so that we can have even greater success at UNLV with a new stadium up online here soon. I didn't play very much. I didn't play very well, but I wouldn't change a thing for my choice to go to UNLV. I learned so much. I made such great friends. I'm still close to so many of them. I know Leon Walker, who averaged, I believe, 7.9 yards per carry, is watching because he texted me today to say he'd be on board. A whole bunch of other good guys. So I was there way back in 1979. I walked on. I'd gone to a little college, junior college up in the state of Washington, Wenatchee Valley, where you get your apples. We had some good quarterbacks there already. Larry Gentry was there, and Sam King was there. This guy Randall Cunningham was coming. He was a little bit later. So the first year I redshirted, Larry was out there playing with Sam. The next year I broke my leg. Third year, Sam led the nation in passing yards. And then this young guy, Randall Cunningham, shows up, and he was going to take over the world, which he eventually did. He's in the College Hall of Fame, and he should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Tony Knapp was our coach. We learned so much from him. And a thing that I've never stopped applying in my life is something he said early. It had to do with our passing offense, how, you know, you'd send somebody deep on a post and have other people coming underneath. But he always said, look deep first. And that was the way the play was designed, because if somebody's open, you hit the home run. But it also really shaped me in my life, like shoot for the moon. And I've always passed that on to kids when I spoke, like I got to at UNLV in November, about don't fear failing. You know, try for anything you think you can do. If it doesn't work, try for something a little bit under that. That's the underneath route. And I got the exact same advice from the late Dr. Al Paterud, who was my broadcasting mentor in our communications department. We were kind of small time back then. We were trying our best, you know, making our little TV shows, making our news reports. There were 2 TVs on campus. You literally had to walk up to watch our program at some station. One was in the student lounge, and one was at the far end of the campus. So things have developed quite a bit since. I was really proud to see how well communications department, broadcasting department has come along at UNLV, and that 40 years ago I was part of, you know, something that was the infancy for that. But I'm really proud to say I went to UNLV. I'm always welcome back, you know, no matter what, even if it's been a couple of years and I show up at a game or come back for some kind of reunion. You know, sadly we were there for the loss of Coach Abadjian, and all of us got together. That was something of a reunion in a sad way. And last November we had a great one. We were saying goodbye to the stadium and welcoming in this new stadium. And so I'm really excited about the future for UNLV athletics and academics. I saw some good notes on Twitter about all the academic success that happened this year with the athletes across the board. So I hope the momentum keeps going. And the athletic director, who apparently has gone on a hiring spree, she's going to introduce some new coaches to you. Desiree Reed-Francois is at the helm on all this, and she's making some big changes and positive things for the future of UNLV. So we'll send it to her before I come back for some Q&A.
Well, thank you very much, Kenny. And thank you for always being willing to come back and support the Rebels. We want welcome and thank you to everybody watching. The momentum and the future is very bright. And we know that it's been a very challenging time for our country, for our community, but we want to assure you that everything that we do, our student athletes are at the heart. And they're our focus, they're our why. And you help build this foundation for UNLV, and we're going to work really hard to make you proud. Kenny said I was on a hiring spree. I don't know if I would phrase it like that, but I am very proud to have with us 3 really impressive, not just coaches, not just impressive teachers, but impressive leaders of character, leaders of competence, leaders who, there's nobody that impacts our student athletes' lives more than our head coaches. And so with us today, we have 2 of our head coaches and 1 of our assistant coaches who also happens to be an alum. So I'm going to start with our most junior member, AJ McInerney. And AJ is our assistant men's golf coach. And AJ, why don't you just give a 2-sentence statement about why you're so excited to be back with the Rebels?
You know, I enjoyed my time playing for Coach Knight at UNLV more than anything in this world. I think about it constantly, and I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to come back and try to get these guys on the PGA Tour where I once was. You know, that's something that they could never, ever, ever take for granted, and I want to help them get there.
Awesome. We've won 2 national championships in addition to our many dance team national championships. But AJ, what does it take to win another national championship? And is that the goal?
Yes, ma'am, it is. First, we need to graduate all of our student athletes. And second, we need to win some golf tournaments. And in recruiting and kind of the new guys coming in and also the guys that are returning for us, I think we have a great chance to do that this year.
Awesome. Thank you, AJ. Our next head coach with us is Coach Jenny Ruiz-Williams. And Coach Ruiz-Williams comes to us from Oregon State. She has made a huge impact already. She's an alum, a former Mexican national team player. She's a teacher at heart, and what she has done with the culture amidst our women's soccer program, you can just feel it. So, Coach Ruiz-Williams, why don't you tell us a little bit about what we can expect from the Rebel soccer team?
Thank you so much, Desiree. I am so excited to be here representing UNLV in a different way. So I was a former player here at UNLV and now coach, and I'm excited to the magical part of when I was a player here, I was a part of the first team to go to the NC2A tournament here for UNLV women's soccer, and that's our goal, is to get back to the tournament and just building a really spectacular team that this community can be proud of.
Thank you, Coach. Our next head coach, I've known since he was 18 years old. He was a student athlete of my first job out of law school at San Jose State University. I had the good fortune of seeing Coach Marcus Arroyo. He was Marcus Arroyo then, our quarterback. And what I loved about him from then on, when I first saw him, was his grit. He talks about high, low, high character guys, low ego, high output. And with Marcus, he personifies the character and the competence of a leader that we want impacting young people's lives. So I'm really excited to have Coach Arroyo leading our football program.
Thanks, Desiree. Appreciate everybody for, again, having another opportunity to get out in front and then express how excited we are here at the football program right now. You know, I couldn't be more excited about the challenge and the opportunity, the momentum, and the community that's engaged in what we're doing right now. So we've got our best foot forward, our sleeves rolled up, and we're excited as heck to be going to work.
All right, I'm going to kick it back to you, Kenny. My stint as Oprah is over.
I am told to use the Q&A feature on your Zoom. I have no idea where that is. Oh, there it is right there, lower right. Yeah, hit that thing if you have questions, specific or general. In the meantime, I'll start them off, and then they'll text me if any of the viewers come in with them. This is for all three. Actually, they mostly all will be. Start with Coach Jenny. What did you learn from being an athlete, a student athlete formerly, that helps you now? Is it just simply like, oh, I've done that before, so now I know how to mentor? Like, what are some specifics that you gained from that?
That's a good question. I think any student athlete, and especially a running rebel, knows what it's like to be a warrior. So when you step onto the field, you know, you have to be a warrior. When you step into the classroom as UNLV student athlete, you have to be a warrior. And I think that coupled with, you know, going even beyond in your career, that we all have done, even as a coach now, we have to be a warrior. Athletics is about, you know, fighting, going to war, being prepared. The mentor I love my job. I cannot tell you, Kenny, how absolutely blessed I feel to be here and be a part of this program. I'm living my dream job right now. And to mentor these women and to capture them right here at this moment and these pivotal times. I mean, you know, as a former student athlete here, the choices you make and the memories you have, like, what an honor that I get to play a part in these young women's lives.
AJ?
I learned so much at UNLV. It's hard to pinpoint one thing. I think finishing was something that Coach Knight always talked to us about, you know, finishing off the semester in the classroom, finishing off your workouts, finishing off your qualifying rounds, always trying to beat your teammates, and finishing off the last 3 holes. You know, that was his biggest thing, is finishing the last 3 holes. And that served me so well when I played professionally, and it still serves me well. You know, we make a lot of our money out on the PGA Tour in those last 3 holes. And if you can't finish, then, you know, it's going to be a long, hard road for you. So I think that's probably the number one thing I learned. And then just the community. You know, Las Vegas has such a great community, and be able to have the chance to come back and coach these players and really show them what it means to be a Rebel, that's what I'm most proud of.
And Coach Marcus.
You know, I think there's a few things that come to mind. I think adaptability, not being rigid, kind of multiple modes. I think we're going through that a lot right now. I think that having been a student athlete and that shaped my teaching and mentoring in regards to, you know, the uniqueness of the individual, so many guys around. You know, we got 120 guys, and I think you really find out a lot about yourself in ways that help you communicate, not only like on a field, but I mean, just in general. I mean, there's a lot of things we're going through right now, and in the regular world, considering we haven't been on a field yet in our program, let alone in months. So I think having been to that student athlete and having had the uniqueness and the bond and the community aspect that being a student athlete gives you has helped me in regards to communication and response and excitement of the task and never flinching and self-awareness. I think all that comes into play with your experience as an athlete, and then hopefully that propels you forward into doing, if you do end up falling into this, pushing you into successful avenues in that regard.
Reverse the order here. Coach Marcus, you go first. Much heavier question with everything that's happening in our country right now. How are you prepared, or have you already taken steps with regard to talking to your players and having real conversations about equal justice, which is the predominant theme daily, you know, in our country right now? It's an important one, obviously.
Yeah, no, we didn't hesitate. Well, I take that back. You know, we probably did hesitate. And I think it hesitated for the right reasons. I think that when things first started happening, mature enough to be able to take time and to step back and trying to assess really where I was at as a man, a father, a husband, a leader, to evaluate where I thought my morals laid and where I was at. And then I immediately jumped to the leadership group I've got on our team and opened up a conversation that was stripped down, it was humble, and it was authentic and real. And we had an open dialogue. I expressed my committed statement publicly short after that, I think on a Sunday morning. And I followed that up with a team meeting. And I think that the biggest statement for them and for us was to just everyone understand and to listen and to develop an intolerance for things that we felt we could help with and really have a human approach to everything we're doing. And that for us has been the foundation, what we've really laid in the groundwork.
AJ?
Yeah, you know, to kind of echo a little bit of what Coach Arroyo just said, you know, it took a little bit of looking in the mirror and really digging deep and trying to make yourself a better human being with everything going on. And, you know, look at your family and your friends and have those tough conversations and come out of it a better person. And as a golf team, you know, we play golf. You know, we're out there for 4.5 hours to enjoy our company, and no matter who it is. You know, I've been blessed to play golf all over this world in many different countries, many different cultures. And I have met some amazing people that I never even would have known existed if it wasn't for golf. And I think if we can all just get on the golf course and spend those 4.5 hours and kind of forget about everything that's going on in the world and just enjoy the time that you get to spend with those 3 other people you're with, you know, I think that goes a long way. And as golfers, we're blessed to be able to do that.
And Jenny?
I think when it started, there was no words, and then there was too many words. You had a lot to say, and what I really do appreciate, I think that Desiree has done a phenomenal job, and we had like a head coaches meeting, and the togetherness I felt and just listening, I feel like so. I'm just really proud to be a part of this and how our university is handling it. I think everyone on this call who's a former student athlete would be proud.
Relatedly, my daughter is now getting to vote for the first time. Hopefully kids are talking about registering to vote. She has a website called youngvotescount.info. Write that down, pass it on to your kids. I got we'll go start with Coach Jenny in reverse order again. You guys are the mentors. You know, you're supposed to be the ones like giving all the knowledge, right? Everybody's expecting that of you in all cases. What do you get from it? What do you learn? And do you surprise yourself like, whoa, this 17, 18-year-old kid said something, or his or her background gave me, you know, some new meaning in my life that I didn't even know and I wasn't aware of before?
That's a good question. I think from a soccer side, I see that all the time within the context of the game, where I might see something where the player who's living within the game sees something different and shows they're in that. I think the beauty about coaching is when you get to know the person, right? We coach the player, we coach the person, but when you get to know the person and their why and their life experiences and their worldview, you can coach them so much better, and you build a relationships. One thing that we do with our young women is we have individual meetings each week. And so I'm looking at this chair where they sit, and they sit here, and we get a little meaty with our conversation, but then that plays out on the field a little bit better, where we have that bond. To that point, of course, I'm learning. You're so humble. You talked about when you introduced yourself. I think you have to be humble as you approach this position of coaching.
And AJ?
You know, these guys, you know, that I'm lucky enough to coach, and the university I get to work for, they've done such an amazing job coming together. But I think it really takes these guys kind of growing as a team and taking this opportunity with everything that's going on, and how can we become better, and how can we grow individually and collectively as a university, not just amongst our team, with other, you know, classmates, other athletes on campus, you know, getting more involved and learning about these other players, or, you know, sitting down at breakfast or lunch and trying to get to know somebody else. I think that's been the coolest thing for me, and getting to know all these new players that I'm just becoming familiar with. It's been a heck of a blast, and I'm just excited to continue to see where we can take this program, but also where the university can go within the Las Vegas community, as culturally diverse as it is.
And Coach Marcus?
You know, I think that there's probably not going to be I said this to someone the other day. I don't know if there's going to be another time in my career that you'll have a chance as a coach to really sit back and find out the most about yourself and how you really engage with young people than right now. I mean, you go through COVID and you go through a social unrest that we're going through, and you encapsulate that. And, you know, candidly, for my first time in head coaching, and you put that at the front end of it, I probably won't have this experience again with young men from all over the country. Not to mention you impact the community in the larger picture. I think we're having a chance as coaches right now to find out a lot about ourselves. You're seeing it all aspects. You're seeing guys who are, you know, older in the country and have been set in their ways for a while, have to step back and rethink some things. And I think as a young coach, if you're not watching that, for myself, it's something that I'm paying attention to, because there's going to come a time in my day where that's going to come across my bow as well. And you better be ready to handle some of this. Now, it's not to say you want to handle something like we're handling right now, but I think it's preparing you for a ton of things. I think I'm a better husband. I'm a better father. I'm a better friend. I communicate better because of the uniqueness of being around a bunch of young men who are from different walks and different talks. And you've got to teach them to buy in and build some glue amongst each other to be better for themselves and better for the school and all those aspects. I think it's such a wide breadth of things you do as a coach. I'm learning a ton about myself. They're teaching me a bunch of stuff. That's really that's for me the biggest piece.
All right, you're off the hook on this one. This one came in from one of our viewers for Jenny and AJ. What do you notice that's different on campus now than when you were here? Either one can go.
You want to take that one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, first off, that beautiful football complex we got parking next to every day, I think that's pretty cool. You know, just seeing the familiar faces has been awesome. You know, what's different? Yeah, I haven't really – everything's kind of been closed here for a while. So I got a nice mural of Shadow Creek on the office in my room, or in my office, you know, and that's kind of cool to look at every day. I guess that's a little bit different than when I was here. Everything's just, it's fun to be back. And like I said, seeing those guys in the hallways every day. And, but I think that's the coolest thing is that football complex that I get to look at every morning.
And Jenny?
The football complex is phenomenal. So there's a few things. There's this familiarity with the lead, and I walk through it and I smell, and it feels, I'm reminded of memories. And then there's these spectacular little, the hospitality building, the 3rd floor, you walk up there and you see the whole campus. It's gorgeous. You can get a coffee at Rebel Grounds ran by student athletes. That's amazing. Wasn't there when I was a student athlete. I'll find little corners where I know so-and-so fell on her bike right here freshman year. I get these memories pop in my head while I'm making these new amazing memories. It's really spectacular. So there's a special newness to it. It's amazing, the newness. If you look, Allegiant Stadium, let's just talk about that for a second. I've got goosebumps. I am so pumped. I can't wait to bring my recruits there. I've got my tickets. I'm so excited.
That's great. This is going to Coach Marcus now from a former player, Preston W. for Marcus. I played under Wayne Nunley, and I'm so happy to hear that you address this as a team. What kind of activities do you believe are best for bringing down those walls to develop relationships rather that transcend race? How best to work together?
Yeah, so that's a great question. That's a question we're all trying to answer. I think as a country and a world, but independently, I'd say we got lucky. Here's how we got lucky. COVID, right before we had a social unrest, presented us with a really unique facet of the world we live in, which right now in the offseason would have been on the field and doing things that were really task-oriented in football. Well, what it then did is it put us in an area like many, but without the football aspect, we really had to flip the binder to the back and go, how much time can we spend getting to know our football team? Because we can only do so many meetings over Zoom and learn about football X's and O's, Y's, and do the mental part of it. So we really dumped all our eggs in the getting to know each other basket. And so one of the things we did to answer that question was we mixed up our groups, 120 guys, give or take. We got 10 full-time coaches plus, say 15 staff members. And so I mixed the positions and the coaches and all these people who'd just been together in January, and we'd only had them we recruited all the way to February. So we had March, we had 3 weeks before we're gone. These guys don't know us from Adam. And so we spent a ton of time mixing these groups up and having conversations that were scripted and prompted in a lot of ways, but then opened up dialogue that were not easy questions. They were the toughest things you've been through in life. Tell me a little about your parents. Here's a little bit about me, and really creating that openness. And what that did, and the iceberg on it was obviously we moved forward to George Floyd, unfortunately, and the social unrest was when that conversation had to happen, and you really got something that was really pointed and really, really had a lot of pain in it. You found out what your business or your family, your team was about, because that conversation would start in a certain speed or not. And ours went right to hyperspeed, really open and really collective. And that told me that what we did is building our team the last 3 months in COVID was working. And that's where I think that you take the time in any organization, in any team, in any family to turn the TV off, turn the phones off, and ask tough questions and get down to the glue. And that's the stuff you're going to fall to when things get hard. And so we've provided tasks like that and get to know each other. We've provided opportunities. Coaches always lead. We mix them up. We changed the locker room order downstairs. I don't want guys sitting in the same locker room, same locker next to a guy they've been sitting for 2 years. We mixed that already up and mixed the bag up. And we're honest. We're honest and authentic and responsible for teaching these guys how to listen and organize and sit in and stand up. And that's our role right now. So we've done a whole bunch of things in that regard, Ken.
All right, go back to Coach Jenny. I just saw this thing on Twitter earlier today, and I forget the exact percentage, but it was not good. The high percentage of Americans right now who describe themselves as unhappy, like highest it's been in 50, 60 years. So in turn, my question is, what makes you hopeful?
That's a good question. Hope is one of my favorite words. I think there's so much power in hope. I think what makes me hopeful is the people I'm surrounded with. I said this already, and you all probably think I'm a bottle of positive energy, and I am like. But what makes me feel so hopeful is these people. I mean, when I hear Marcus talk, I get fired up. When I sit in meetings with Desiree, I feel a part of this vision. Everyone here at this university makes me hopeful. I'm hopeful because we have the right people. A great analogy I use is like a sled that I've heard from Jeremy Gunn from Stanford men's soccer. He talks about a sled dog team, and all the dogs are going in the same direction, noses pointed together, and that's what this university is doing. Our whole sled dog team is going, and we're mushing, and we're not stopping, and we're going together. That makes me hopeful.
And AJ?
You know, I think for me, it's just taking care of the things I can control. You know, confidence for me doesn't come from doing the hard things really well. It comes from doing the easy things really good. And so I kind of just focus every day on the tasks that I can control. And with the guys on our team, you know, we have an awesome schedule to look forward to. When we're going to get to play it might be still up in the air, but we can prepare for it. We can get ready for some of these different golf courses we're going to get to go to, some of these trips we're going to get to take. And then it's my family at home. I'm getting married this November, so I get to come home every day to a beautiful fiance. And, you know, I'm living my dream in that regard. And there's a lot of things that are pretty bad out there. But as far as what I focus on is just those things I can control and the little things every single day that I can do extremely well. And hopefully that gives me confidence and also my team confidence.
Coach Marcus.
You know, I'm going to piggyback a little bit off of Jenny. You know, the people, the three things: people, place, and timing for me. The same reason we're all here. The people that I've encountered in this community that I'd hoped I'd meet, the alumni that have the passion and the pride that have hung in there and built a building that I'm standing in to make that right movement, to connect across aisles with you know, the Raiders and Allegiant Stadium and the city of Vegas and the state of Nevada and the West Coast and everything that's going on here. Those people, those blue collar, tough, passionate, authentic, real people that believe in movement and believe in and have hope themselves. I mean, that's itself. And then the place, I think this place is, I've been in 9 states. I've been doing this for over 15 years at every level, from the SWAC and the FCS all the way to the NFL and back. And there's a lot of misconceptions about what gives a program the hope or the ability to win. And I think that we started with the right process, and that's what I'm excited about, because you have a chance here to recruit here. You have a chance here to give yourself some scheme identity on the West Coast with players you can put into it. You have some chance to develop the player and the person in this environment, particularly that we're in right now. And then overall, you get a chance with the right people in the building, the guys we hired, and the process we've got to assess that thing cyclically and keep going round and round and get better and better and build from the ground up. And then timing. And right now, I think there's not a better time in the world for Las Vegas and UNLV to really get this thing going.
The crowd has been hoping I would introduce the prize winners at some point. Sam S. has won the Raising Cane's gift basket. Someone from UNLV marketing team will be in touch. And Bruce F. has won the soccer jersey and blanket. So those two. Are there more prizes coming? Now, one thing I always had to explain to people when they heard I went to UNLV, like they think it just sounds like it's all crazy because you know how often tourists go and behave poorly when they come to Las Vegas for 3 days. But it really is true, and I think you can all attest to this. After the first 20 days of seeing this trip, you kind of burn out on that, and you really got deep into your football or deep into your studies or whatever it was that drew you there in the first place. Do any of you coaches have to do an extra reminder that way, or do you feel like what you provide kind of keeps people in the right spot and keeps them diligent? Jenny?
I'm going to take you back to the third floor of the hospitality building, and I take recruits up there, and you can see all of campus and all of a good part of the city. And I point out that little tiny strip, and we have a good conversation about how that's just a part of this city. And I point to Mount Charleston, Lake Mead, Red Rock. I talk about the blue collar people. You don't walk into a restaurant here in Vegas and not get the best service. And the grit and the selflessness of this community. And that, it starts at the front door before they even come and join that roster. That conversation is had. A bit of a scare tactic as well goes with that, but put my nice face on right now.
And AJ and Coach Marcus, similarly?
Yes, well, I was born and raised in Las Vegas, so I've been here my whole life. I've seen the ins and the outs. I understand it, but we got some awesome golf courses out there that, to Jenny's point, I get to take these recruits to some awesome places. And yeah, it's fun to go down and have some dinner and see the strip and do that, but prioritizing what you're here for. And if you can't get your grades done, you can't play good golf, then, where are you spending your time? So, being from Las Vegas, I think it's an awesome opportunity to be involved in an amazing community and trying to teach these young recruits what that actually means and how far they can actually go in this city is something I'm proud of. And I'm also just blessed to be here and this, sitting here talking to you guys right now in a coaching role, because now I get the opportunity to find that reward in coaching these young men into great leaders and hopefully great golfers. But Vegas is awesome. No one's going to argue that. It's just more or less knowing what you're here for and staying focused there. That's it for me.
By the time this call is over, Kenny, you're going to be just you're just fading away into the night. I can find
more light. Hold on. Facilities check.
You're just going to be like this voice in the back of our heads.
Hold on. How's this? I'm working on it. Maybe I got to go indoors. We were trying to keep the dogs from barking. Here you go. We got some just delay. Usually, like on Sports Center, there's somebody either in my ear or we have a rundown. Right now, I have no earthly idea what the next segment is. Anybody want to tell me?
Well, we get to ask you 100 questions now, and we're going to grill you. So, all right, coaches,
Sure.
You guys ready? Questions for Kenny Mayne.
Whatever you got.
I have a question. Can you share one of your UNLV memories? Maybe one that no one's heard. Can you give us a little special one?
Man, there's a whole bunch. We used to go, this is not anything to do with athletics or academics, but some of my best bonding moments were with players from, we had running backs, we had receivers, DBs, other quarterbacks, and we go up to Highlight. Do you guys even know what that is? So it's like think of racquetball with 3 walls, and they have these baskets. You got to look it up. They're called cestas. But we would have, it was like the greatest little bonding experience. I didn't have a car, so we would literally walk to it. We had Robin McLaren and Thumper White and Sam, I think, showed up once. I'm sure Ray Krause was involved. I think Leon might have made a couple. But the other was we used to get, and this was legal because we weren't being paid, we got to be volunteer ushers at the prize fights. And it was unbelievable. We would watch, this is so long ago, Wide World of Sports would replay the fight either later that day or the next day, and you'd try to see yourself on TV. That was like the biggest thing. Like there I am, Mark Moisey, of one of our players, winning. I think he raised Sugar Ray Leonard's hand after a fight, or so I don't know. He kind of was a camera hog. But it was like all those unique moments that came because we were in Las Vegas, right? I ended up covering horse racing a great deal at ESPN, and I can say that I got some of my start by being in Las Vegas. Ray Krause and I would run up, 2 races before meetings at 2:00 and then go to football practice. But I'm sharing everything that is not just off campus, but just that let me relate to other people, that I wouldn't have known except that I went to Las Vegas and met all these new people and had these new experiences and tried to stay close, either text people or bump into them, at a reunion. But all of them are still in my heart, whether I talk to them all the time or just once in a while, they show up in my life. The fighting was one. Some of the guys stayed at this place way down at the end of the strip and you'd have to like ride your bike 20 minutes to go visit them. I remember watching the Sonics and Lakers. It was the 1979 championship when the Sonics won, and all these guys, you know, were so mad because they were all Lakers fans. We had so many guys from Inglewood, and they were all about the Forum and the Lakers, and we had this rivalry because we were from the state of Washington. Gosh, there was something that came up right in the middle of that, and I'm just like stream of consciousness about all my memories here. But obviously, what I got from Coach Knapp and all the other coaches in his system, it changed me in a way that I've been able to apply it in other ways. Just the hard work it took. Like I said earlier, my first remarks about shooting for the moon, looking deep first. And I think the biggest lesson I got, and this really came a great deal from scholastically from Al Paterud, was he gave us so much room to fail, and we didn't know it at the time. We thought he was just giving us an assignment with very loose instructions, but he wanted us to experiment. Go make your little movie, go make your little TV story, and make your mistakes now and gain from it and get better from it. So I had so many different people, and I'm leaving out 100 more, that shaped me in a big way that helped me succeed later. Because before I got here to ESPN, I went through like 4 years of freelance work. I was like the correspondent without a contract out in Seattle. You know, Griffey'd hit 3 homers, and I'd be sent to go interview him the next day. And I kept on pitching myself and trying to get on there, working side jobs in order to, you know, pay the car bill or whatever. I made garbage cans. I sold prepaid legal insurance. Then I worked for MCI. And all the time, my goal was to get to ESPN. People thought I was out of my mind. But I just kept trying, and I just refused to take no for an answer. So I think in a great way, the people who were around me at UNLV, both friends and my coaches and my mentors in school, you know, helped me kind of get more of that drive in me to believe in myself and just refuse to be defeated. I will say also, I left this out, I learned how to play dominoes from the kids from Inglewood too. So I have that in my repertoire now.
Good to know.
I've got a question for you.
Most white people think they're just for knocking over, but there's an actual game. It's counting by 5s around the corner. So
I'd say, what's your handicap and what's your dream foursome?
Oh man, my handicap, I don't even have an established one because I don't play frequently enough. If you said what's an accurate number, it's in the 20s, sadly. Like if I get 90, I'm out of my mind. So I'm a bogey golfer and then some. On a good day, I can do better. Definitely, I need to play more. I need to get with my swing coach. Way back when, I used to cover like the U.S. Open and TPC Sawgrass. I'd go down there with Van Pelt, and we'd do the special golf shows. And we would do these ridiculous stories. Like one of them we were just talking about the other day. We tried to talk Fincham, the PGA Tour commissioner, into letting David Toms back in the field, even though he had missed the cut. We were like, you know, it's such an arbitrary number, and he's a good guy, and he's still, you know. So we were doing stories like that. We did one with Fred Funk. We pretended he changed his name to Fred Funk because he was a huge George Clinton Parliament fan, and we got George Clinton to be in the story, actually. He's like, I didn't know Fred Funk was on the mothership. I think that was his line. So I got to play with Fred Couples once at the Hartford Open, or the Travelers, whatever they call it. Mm-hmm. Hole 2 at Hartford, TPC over there at, what's the name of that town? Berlin. It's like a blind par 4. I hit the best 2 shots of my life, about an inch in, and I knock it in for a 3 on a 4. But with my so-called handicap, I got a hole in 1, right? And Fred's like, does he always play this way? He looks to my, and after that, I fell apart. So he put too much pressure. So I think Fred would be in there. Ernie Els, I love. We got to do some stories with him. And I might add Lee Elder from the old days. I'd bring him in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing.
Sure. Can you guys even see me at this point?
Perfect.
How's that?
You're kind of like a shadow man.
It's like Blair.
I'll go inside. We can clean it up.
It's okay.
I can show you our dogs, my wife. If you want.
We get a tour of Kenny Mayne's house.
Okay, I got a quote. You've been around. You forgot more sports than most of us, let alone venues and communities and the tie together. You obviously have some hope, I'd assume, as an alum. What gives you hope here with this new stadium and the connection now, knowing, you know, where the stadium was, where the program was, and where the direction, you know, we all want to believe it's going. What is it about this stadium and this thing now that gives you hope?
Well, see, I'm so old, you know, when I got there and we played, that's our dog Muller. Muller, relax. There he is. Muller. Okay, let me turn on some lights. It's even darker. It's going to get better, guys. Stay with me. I still heard your question. Okay, how are we doing? Is that better?
Perfect.
Well, I mean, it's just like, not that there was anything wrong with the old place. Like I said, when I first got there, it was like, whoa, big stadium. It's way out in the edge of town. Like, this is cool. But, you know, it served its time. It did its job. It was there for a long time. It was time to upgrade. So, I mean, it just puts it on the map for just, you know, it's just like fancy out of the gate. And people are going to see the place. It's going to, you know, have this sparkle to it. The Raiders are there. That's going to be a thing, you know. So that I just think it's going to create a different excitement than there has ever been before. And some people think it seems silly just for a building, but it's just the allure of it all and the draw and filling that place up. If we can, you know, have that place packed frequently, hopefully on day one, it's just going to give this look that kind of like the rest of the country is going to go, oh, that place, that looks different than what I saw before. Because typically UNLV highlight might make the late sports center. It's going to be, you know, it's sizzling sun. The paint is burning off the seats. This is going to be fancy and new. And I think the association with the Raiders, even though they're separate programs, obviously, there's going to be a draw there just by itself. Just like, wow, they're playing in that NFL stadium, you know, Coach Gruden's filling up. So I'm excited for it. I can't wait to get down there in person.
Oh.
Awesome. Well, with us, and you actually, that was a lovely segue. The stadium is very important. The people are incredibly important. We want all of our letter winners to come home. We need you. We can't do this by ourselves. You are the foundation. We need you to be a part of the future as well. We have a special initiative. You'll get more information from our Rebel Athletic Fund member leaders. But every Rebel Athletic Fund letter winner, we have 2 tickets for you. If you want any more, we got to get you to buy them. But they're actually a great value, great stadium, great amenities. So more information will be coming out on July 15th about our letter winners program. And it's first come, first serve. And we hope to see everyone out at the stadium. So John, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Rebel Athletic Fund?
Thank you, Desiree. I think, again, you said it perfectly. I mean, it's so important to us. And again, I think it's a blessing to be on this Zoom with y'all, to be able to say to you directly just how meaningful and essential it is to us that you all increase your engagement. You know, the letter winners, you all are really the foundation of our program. And we've had so many proud and exceptional student athletes come through UNLV and wear the scarlet and gray, several on this call right now. And you can't replicate that passion, that commitment, that dedication that you all embody each and every day. You know, admittedly, we've struggled a little bit, Ken, with engagement. You know, we've done some things, we've sent out some letters, we've had some events, but you know, we want to be extremely direct right now in saying that it's our mission, again, to see more of you at our events, to see you more often on campus, to have an opportunity to engage with you on a more regular basis, and to benefit, again, from the attributes and traits that made you a successful student athlete and now someone that's successful in life, that our student athletes can look up to and aspire one day to become. So from all of us across the athletic department, thank you for your service. Again, please come back, see us, be with us, join us, stand side by side with us, knowing that invitation is standing. And thanks to Desiree's leadership, we've got some really neat opportunities to get you engaged. So Allegiant Stadium is right around the corner. Jenny's getting ready to kick off. AJ is getting excited about a new season. Again, Coach Arroyo's passion and enthusiasm is contagious. So it's a great time to be a Rebel. Again, come out, join us, be with us, and let's have a great fall together.
And if you want to get involved, there's three easy ways. One, we'll make sure everybody gets 2 tickets. There's a cap, so it's first come, first serve. But if you have a lead on someone that we could reach out to and sell season tickets to, let us know. barry.kamen@unlv.edu, and we will help facilitate that and make it very, very easy to sell you some tickets. The second way, hire our student athletes. We have a Rebels Go Pro program. We're very proud of the fact that 63% of our new hires are former student athletes. 70% are women or people of color. Our athletic head coaching staff is the most diverse in the conference. Our student athletes are incredible representatives of you. They have exceeded every historical marker academically, and we're just so incredibly proud of them. So hire our student athletes. And then the third one is just a shameless plug, join our Momentum Fund. So with that, we're going to go to closing comments. And again, we'll start it off with AJ, and then we'll go Coach Jenny, Coach Marcus, and then Kenny. You can bring us home.
Thank you very much, Desiree. You know, I'm so excited for the opportunity that we have and that I have right now to be a coach of these young student athletes. But number one, I'm so proud to be an alumni at UNLV, and it's because of people like yourself that I get to do what I get to do every day, and that these student athletes get to enjoy the student athlete life here in Las Vegas. So anything that I can do, please reach out, and I look forward to seeing everybody here down the road, hopefully at Southern Highlands for our Collegiate Masters. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me and letting me be a part of this. And I just want to, for everyone listening, want to share, take action. I think don't let those special time of your life, being a UNLV former student athlete, call someone that you played with. Remember what it was like. Attend a game. Follow us on social media. It's a spectacular time to be. What the title of this whole call, once a rebel, always a rebel, is so true. And I know you all feel it. So take action.
Yeah, I appreciate all you guys having the opportunity to have me on it and get a chance to share some things and hear from Kenny. And obviously, every time I get a chance to hear from alumni and guys who have a larger vested background than I do, it's always really good to hear, and it just roots my conviction in doing things the way we're doing them right now, and that is with a lot of pride, with a lot of belief, and doing things the right way and building the culture the right way around this university, this program, this city, this stadium, and around the proud members that maybe from afar realize this is a special place. Been to a lot of different places and seen a lot of different things, and there's no reason why, with the pride you guys got and the amount of care factor that's going on right now and movement, that this place can't be something that we all say in our life we want to be a part of something special. Well, latch on. We've expressed it's not that expensive. Shoot, I paid that much money for one fight on UFC pay-per-view the other day. So, but come out and support these guys. They need it, especially in this time. I'll say that too. Especially in the time right now that everyone's going through. We all need sports for all the right reasons, not all the wrong ones, all the right ones. And I think that backing your university and backing young men and backing young athletes and backing a community program in a city, I don't know where you can go wrong with that. So we're fired up. I'm proud to represent the UNLV. I'm humbled to be here and fired up to keep plugging away.
I'm back. Am I back? There's Gretchen.
No,
There's my wife.
Hi, Gretchen.
Yeah. So, firstly, very important, Preston W. wins the UNLV watch. Other prize winners will be notified.
Congratulations.
Yes. Am I still on?
Yes, you're still on.
Oh, okay. I was going to say something far more sincere. When I was dorking out with all my Las Vegas memories, one just kept coming, all these little flashes of, I forgot about Mount Charleston. We used to go out to Nellis. We used to go out to Lake Mead. There's just so many things. Like Coach Jenny was saying, it's not just the Strip, and there's nothing, you can still have fun there. There's all sorts of good things there as well. But it's just a bigger place, and it's cliche, but it really came down to the relationships, which is what I was really trying to express in all these little moments, these little flashes in my life that, are still so fond to me. And I think it's relevant with everything that's going on today. We were all kinds of colors from all kinds of places, and none of it mattered. We just loved each other as teammates and as classmates, and and all those bonds and all those relationships, stand true, 40 years later. And I will say, Desiree, these were 3 good hires from my view here as an alum. And what stood out most is the coach, just their sincerity. Like they're very real, and it was cool to see it, the way they express themselves, mostly about, what's facing our country right now, but in every other way too. So I like our future down there. So I hope to come out and catch some of it in person. For now, it'll be from a distance, and I wish you the best. Thanks for having me.
Kenny, thank you. And thank you for always being willing to give us your time and your feedback. And that's really special, and we really appreciate it sincerely.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having us. Like Coach Arroyo and Coach Jenny and Coach AJ said, this is a special place. These are special people. Why not us? Why not now? We need you. Get involved. And most importantly, thank you. See y'all.